Hi, I'm Michelle, and this is my first episode of my show that I'm going to be doing, getting my voice out there. I do a lot of writing. You could find my blog on Michelle Mansfield, so I'm two L's, Michelle Mansfield author, all one word.com, and you could check out my blog and my writing and get some sneak peeks on my book that I hope will be coming out next year. That's my goal during Maternal Mental Health Week in May. So today I am going to be talking about the subject of normalizing mental health. And we're going to spend just a little bit of time about maybe why it's not normalized mental health and challenges that we as mothers have in this very hard time that many of us have. Not everyone goes through postpartum depression, anxiety, or postpartum stress. So you may talk to some women that say, I hate saying this, but I didn't have any of those feelings, and I really enjoyed, the newborn stage and all that, and that's wonderful. So it's great when we can respect everyone's journey, whether that's through conception, through pregnancy, birth, as well as when your baby is born. So everyone has their own story. So I think when it comes to normalization, we have to really focus on our own story, our own healing, and finding people that may have some similar stories and things that can relate to yours. So this past weekend, I was fortunate, and I'm going to be coffee drinking this morning. I was fortunate to be a part of a 5K charity race for a local neighborhood. With the gym that I work for. I'm an instructor, a fitness instructor. So we sponsored a little area and participated in a 5K for an organization called Kaylas Hope. And I didn't know originally what Kayla's Hope was for. So, of course, I did a little bit of investigating and talked to some people that are from the neighborhood and organized this event this past Saturday. So the event for Kayla's Hope, Kayla was a girl, I was told she was a freshman when she passed away, and she suffered from mental illness. So her parents' mission is to educate, to normalize mental health, and create this sense of empowerment and bravery instead of fear and hiding. When it comes to mental health, especially with our children. But when it comes also to our mental health as mothers, things that have happened in our past, feelings and depression that have been a part of our past or our family history, are very important when it comes to our mental health when we become mothers. So we cannot disregard our past history, or perhaps if we have family members that have anxiety or depression, and how that can contribute to your own recovery along with your unique situations that you go through. So I loved Kayla's Hope and their message, which is it's okay to not be okay. And I think that's an important thing to shout from the mountaintops, from the rooftops, wherever you want to shout it from, to tell your friend this, to write it in a card, to send a text. Any way you can get a message to your friends and family that you are a person that is okay to talk about when you're not okay, whether it's yourself or someone else coming to you. And I have, people in my life where I can tell they're afraid to admit when they're not okay, whether it's you don't want to burden that person with your story. Maybe you have 20 minutes only to catch up and you haven't seen your friend in a long time, and the last thing you want to do is be, what you think yourself as a Debbie Downer, or maybe you're afraid the conversation will take over with what you're going through, which, by the way, is okay if that happens. And your friend is okay with it if it happens. So I have, friends, as well as I have my own feelings in the past of not being comfortable with admitting that you're not okay, that it's not roses and sunshine every day. We have a lot of messages out there, whether in books or people that we talk to, or simply maybe our own observances and our own little scenarios that we create in our head, that motherhood has to be bliss and perfect and the most beautiful thing ever. You should be grateful. You're so fortunate. And sometimes it's not. And I think a lot of people have a hard time when those feelings are not met, those expectations aren't met. And they wonder if everyone else is feeling those feelings except themselves. And when you keep those feelings inside of you, you're never going to find people, to connect with, to normalize these feelings. That the world of friendship is a very important topic when it comes to this, and friendship when it comes to your friends, as well as your friendship with your family. There are, or your spouse. So there's 3 things. I was just listening to a TED Talk last week, 3 things that this TED Talk focused on when it comes to a true friendship. And I believe this kind of blends into just the world of relationships in general. And the first thing is positivity. You don't have to be positive all the time, but that general aura of positivity, even when there are bad days, let's figure out how to work through this, or, having an attitude of fighting versus being defeated all the time. When it comes to, those bad days that you do have. How do you get out of them? And the second thing was consistency. And consistency in the sense of, are you getting together on a consistent basis? Are you checking in on each other and saying hello on a consistent basis? Do you talk on a consistent basis? Do you make time to maybe go on a vacation once a year, or a small weekend vacation? That consistency. So it's beyond the friend you see at a funeral or a wedding, or the friend that you may talk to once a year that, excuse me, I'm going to see. My wonderful husband had a man cold over the weekend, and it is now inside of me. But I am dealing with my woman cold, which means buckle up and keep going. So the consistency on that second part. So that is very important. And I had to think about that with some friends of mine. Friends that I won't say goodbye forever, but friends that I may just kind of put on the back burner that aren't bringing A and B. And then C is that vulnerability component. So being vulnerable, being honest, peeling the layers, being real, and being raw. And that's the part of the normalization of mental health as well, is talking about it, being real and honest, and not being afraid to get the message out. And I think a lot of times we're afraid of the reaction we may get. Some people I've talked to women who have had negative reactions from family members and friends, whether it's, oh, you're just tired, or they may kind of minimize their feelings, or, oh, you need to snap out of it because you should be grateful that you're a mother. A lot of IVF women that I've spoken to have a hard time bringing up these feelings because of all the struggles they went to get pregnant. And yes, they should feel grateful to even have had a child. And that's not the point at all. Everyone is grateful. Maybe not in the moment, but that gratefulness will come when we heal our minds. So something else that I thought about is taking risks more, and with mentioning your feelings. And there's a lot of fear behind that. Your heart may be pounding. You may go back and forth a couple times with telling certain people that you may be afraid of, but taking that risk and seeing that reaction, whether you're surprised at the positive reaction that they gave you, or maybe there is a little bit of a negative reaction towards you, but keeping in mind that that reaction has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them and their fears, their lack of education and knowledge about mental illness and postpartum depression and perinatal mood disorders specifically. So when you receive that negative reaction, that's your opportunity to educate them and just keep sharing with them. So eventually, hopefully, they see that this is for real and maybe become sympathetic. Maybe they experience these feelings themselves and it's bringing up things that they don't want to deal with. So not dismissing that person, but maybe, spending time like, well, why would you say that to me? Or are there, why do you feel a certain way and why you would react to me? I'm coming to you because I love you and I trust you. And it really hurts me to see the way that you are reacting, towards me, and see what they say. Taking risks and people's behavior and reactions in all relationships can be unpredictable. Sometimes people that you think will respond positively don't, and some people that you automatically think they're going to have a negative reaction may actually be more supportive than you think. So taking that risk. I'm finding, it's taken me 6.5 years. That's one thing I'm starting to be honest with, that it's taken me this long to really be honest with the world, with my friends, with my spouse, with my mother, with family members, that of the feelings that I had dealt with, and I still have more feelings that I will probably be sharing as this journey, comes forward, with my writing and sharing and how comfortable I get. And I have found in this past 6 months to a year that I've been sharing all of my feelings that I have, that there are a lot of people out there that have the same feelings or a similar story or understand or, want to connect and form strong relationships with me. And I want to do the same back with them. And I'm meeting so many wonderful women. I'm finding so much support out there. I'm finding more people that I never expected that have dealt with postpartum depression and are pretty open about sharing their feelings. And I don't know if it's because I'm so honest about it and open, and I think I've got an open heart when I come to people with stuff that I talk about. So it's interesting how much I am healing already just by bringing things up and my writing. So bringing this point up of, letting your feelings out on paper, whether it's writing physically down. I myself love writing. This is my new favorite pen. It is a Pilot erasable blue. Blue tends to retain that memory a little bit more. And I have journals and planners that I like to write down. But when it comes to my book, I, of course, have my laptop, which also helps. But if you're not looking at saving this onto the cloud or anything like that, getting yourself some paper, a pen, maybe a good atmosphere around you. I use a lot of essential oils to kind of motivate my mind. I use sweet orange, lemon, cinnamon. Cinnamon's a good one. Peppermint. And then I also use this purity oil to kind of clean the air out and get my mind going when it comes to writing. My book that I'm going to be writing, some people have asked what the focus is, and I'm talking about some feelings. I have about 15 right now, and each feeling is going to be a chapter. And I'm talking about feelings that may not be on the extreme side, which I've read a lot about. I've been reading a lot of postpartum depression books by wonderful authors and professionals, medical professionals. Mine is going to be more so on they're common feelings. I know they are, and they're taboo feelings, but they aren't normalized and talked about. I think sometimes, you look at that checklist at the, pediatrician or maybe your OBGYN, and you see a lot of extreme feelings, which some of you may have. I myself didn't have some of the extreme feelings that were listed for me to check off, but I had other feelings, like I was extremely bored, which led to my depression. My identity was attached to my career, which I had to let go, so that led to my depression. I had unresolved guilt feelings and things going on with a parent of mine that led into the depression. So that mom guilt that I had a lot of loneliness with friends that I felt I never saw anymore. That loneliness and analyzing my friendships and feeling scared and terrified about being by myself, that led to my depression. Secluding myself in my home for, fear of either going out or just the work that required to leave my home, and just not feeling like myself. And next thing you know, 5 days pass. So that leading to my depression, amongst some others. So feelings that may not lead to a postpartum depression diagnosis, but they are still shitty feelings that I had. I do believe I had postpartum depression as I'm reading all the books that I'm reading and the resources that I've been, researching. There's a lot of check marks beyond that 3-week baby blues that some of us have. But I'm just honest too about some feelings that moms may feel guilty admitting. Like, I don't want to, admit that I hate playing with my baby and it bores the hell out of me because I'm going to look like a shitty mom. That I'm not enjoying my baby or I don't love having a baby. Meanwhile, there's other things that I may enjoy doing that are more simple, and maybe I'm not, the person that shakes things in her face and reads to her for 8 hours a day. And maybe I look at her as this blob that doesn't do much. And I'm beside myself with, oh my gosh, only 1 hour has passed. And tears start streaming down my face thinking that's the way my life is going to be forever. I also went into toddlerhood and things that I didn't enjoy that I believe myself led and continued to foster my postpartum depression. So these feelings I know are out there. I've talked to women and have interviewed women that nod their head with every feeling that I have unleashed. This book isn't here to tell you exactly what to do. I know there's a lot of resources that do that. I'm here simply to tell you the feeling and my story, have you nod your head, have you feel like you're relating to someone, that you can reach out to me on social media or my email. Join me on webinars, where that I'll be hosting in the future. Maybe you're local and can come to a postpartum support group where I'm talking. And at the end of each chapter, I think what I'm going to do for at least for you to have a takeaway is to have some nice writing prompts for you to start getting things out on paper. I think it's great to have suggestions, and you'll kind of see things through my stories of things that I did that helped me that may jog you to try yourself. But I'm not going to sit here with A, B, C, D, and E telling you exactly what to do, because you have your own story and how you heal and what you resonate with. And you will find that when you start reading and feelings start coming up, you acknowledge those feelings, you start talking about them with other people, you start writing them down, and finding resources in your neck of the woods, as well as resources online that I may be creating in the future next year with the book. And through that, you're going to find your own solutions. I know that I needed professional help and intervention. I wish that I reached out. But I'm wondering too how much it would have helped me even more to talk and find people around me that were in similar situations that I was in, because that community is so important. And we need to create that community. We need to normalize mental health just as much as we normalize physical health. We pop pills for this disorder. We have no hesitation to go into the doctor if we've got this pain or this, symptom going on. But we're afraid to take that step when it comes to mental health. We're afraid to make the investment financially, which a lot of times your insurance may cover it, and if not, a practitioner may have a payment plan for you or a way to make it work. You may try, something like group therapy at first that may be free or more economical for you. But the more you normalize the feelings and talk, the more you will find people and create your own community that used to be a part of our world a long time ago. And now we're so secluded and we're individuals that need to figure it out on our own. And, we don't have that network a lot of times that, women used to have, or women have in other cultures present day. So anyways, today, we're going to kind of wrap it up, that normalization of mental health. This starts in childhood, so recognizing things in your child, and as well as going into adulthood. If you see someone struggling, reach out to them. I just had to do it the other day, and even though it was a text message, just because of how this person communicates best, it was a text message simply telling her, I've been through X, Y, and Z. I don't have your exact story, but you know that you have someone here. Just simply doing that. If they don't even respond, they got the message, or they got your voicemail, they got your card. But pay attention to people around you that you love, especially during this postpartum period. Ask them how they're doing instead of focusing solely on the baby. Asking them how you can help them, and maybe forcing your help on them. Getting them more comfortable and feeling that their feelings are normal and they're out there. So let's all work together as women, as mothers, to normalize mental health and the emphasis we need to place on that. That's our responsibility. We can do it together. If other people aren't doing it out there, it's up to us to have that fire inside us to create that normalization. And it can be done. It's being done out there in your community. You have to find those people. So I will be seeing you next week. Thanks for watching. Please comment, email me, info@michellemansfieldhealth.com. Reach out on my website, which is michellemansfieldauthor.com, and you can also email me through that. Many ways to get in touch with me. Lots of podcasts I'm recording this week that'll be coming out soon. So ways to hear my voice out there. But have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you the next time.